According to Wikipedia, Banksy's well-hung lover mural in Bristol has been vandalized twice, with the latest defacement on February the 24th, 2018, causing permanent damage to the artwork. But what's the full story behind one of Banksy's earlier works? And will it ever be protected? Welcome to Wiki Review Weekly History, where each week we dive into a Wikipedia article about a historical event that happened this week. We don't just summarize it, we evaluate Wikipedia's credibility by reviewing its sources. And at the end of the video, we spin the wheel to reveal next week's topic. This week, we're diving into arts and culture with Banksy's well-hung lover. If you love history deep dives like this, like and subscribe to Wiki Review Weekly for more Wikipedia explorations. Let's jump in. Well-hung lover, also called naked man hanging from window and simply naked man, is a mural by the anonymous street artist Banksy on a wall in Frogmore Street in Bristol, England. And I have to say, I have been to Bristol and I saw this painting and I thought it was incredibly funny. So just want to throw that out there. I think it's hilarious. But it was actually painted in 2006 on the side of a sexual health clinic. And well-hung lover depicts a naked man hanging from a window while a suited man looks out next to a woman in her underwear. Despite featuring nudity, it is the first legal piece of street art in the UK following a survey by the Bristol City Council, resulting in retrospective permission and protection being granted. In 2009, the mural was defaced by a paintball gun. Douche, why? It resulted in a partial restoration by the City Council. However, some paintball splatters remain on the artwork. It was defaced a second time in 2018 with black spray paint. And I saw these marks and I kind of was like, oh, that's a very strange addition to the mural. I don't know if it really needed the paint marks, but okay, I guess that was the defamation of it. Lovely. Anyway, let's look at the design. Well-hung lover is stenciled graffiti and depicts a naked man hanging from a windowsill by his right arm, his left arm covering his genitals. It's actually really funny. I'll have this up on the screen many ways so you can see it. Now, looking out on the window are two people, a suited man on the left and a woman in lingerie on the right touching his shoulder. The scenario portrayed is that the suited man is the woman's husband and he suspects her of having extramarital affair with the naked man, and he's looking out the window in search for him. And at the time of creation, the artwork was stenciled on the side wall of the Brook Sexual Health Clinic on Frogmore Street, which has since been relocated. Banksy was reportedly unaware that the building was a sexual health clinic and found humor in the irony when he was told this via email. That's really funny, because I would have thought that he would be like, oh yes, it's a sexual health clinic. I'm going to paint my mural there. But he didn't do that at all. That's just what happened. Oh, that's so cool. Well, as the mural is approximately 5 meters or 16 feet above street level, it was almost level with and can be best viewed from the Park Street Bridge above Frogmore Street. And I can also attest to that. It is best to stand on that bridge to actually see it. Now, in order for it to get created, he needed to get to the approximate height and maintain the mural's secrecy during its creation. Scaffolding was erected against the wall covering the tarpaulin, and after 3 days, the council removed the scaffolding, discovering the artwork. That's very weird. So, what did he... So he put up the scaffolding himself, and then it just looked like people were, I don't know, doing normal construction or something, and then the council pulled it back and was like, oh! Look at this, it is art. A Banksy. Oh my goodness. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. Weird. Anyway, well-hung lover appeared at a time when the city council's policy was to crack down on graffiti. The council was initially opposed to the mural. However, some residents supported the work, saying it brightened up the area. And following pressure to keep the mural, the council created an online poll asking whether or not it should be kept. 97% of respondents supported it, leading to the retrospective permission of it being granted for the mural, the first legal street art in the UK. Really? Okay, so there's tons of street art in Bristol. I thought Bristol was mostly known for its street art, so I guess this wasn't something that was really known for in 2006. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody knows anything more about this, please write it in the comments below, because I just assumed that Bristol was the UK street art capital. I mean, maybe they're in Brighton, right? But I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you know something I don't. Anyway. The retrospect back to where we were. The council stressed that this was an exception and that future street art would not necessarily be tolerated. Oh, boo. Whatever. In 2020, as part of the inaugural Bristol Festival of Light, Well Hung Lover was incorporated into a new piece of artwork called Neighbors. Called Neighbors. Now, Limbic Cinema projected 9 windows alongside Banksy's piece, with local artists Jasmine Thompson, Inky, Paris Gardner, and Zoe Power all creating animated artworks depicting various scenes from Bristol's history and underrepresented communities. Now, the defacements. On the night of the 22nd of June 2009, 10 days into the Banksy vs. Bristol exhibition at Bristol City Museum and Art Gallery just up the road, the mural was defaced by 7 blue paintballs fired at the mural with a paintball gun. The perpetrator was never identified, although one suspect was King Robo due to his rivalry with Banksy at the time. Now, Councillor Gary Hopkins described the vandalism as disappointing and promised that the council would remove the paint stains. 3 of the 7 splatters have since been removed, but the council could not remove the others without damaging the work, so those paint stains remained. That explains why I saw so many paint stains. Okay, got it. Anyway, Well Hung Lover was defaced again on the 24th of January 2018, which is why it is the feature of this week's episode. And on February 24th, 2018, it was defaced with black graffiti tags beside and below the work with phrases "Cape, Soak, and Fuck Banksy." Ugh. The legs of the hanging man were also sprayed over. Dude, not cool. Now, the building went for sale in November 2024. It was announced that the building was being sold as part of the building that was on 1 Unity Street via auction in February 2025. The building is listed as a former nightclub with a guide price of £700,000 and with a covenant in the lease that the mural must be maintained or insured and that it must remain publicly visible on the building. Well, at least there's that. At least it's going to remain actually visible, because I'd be so worried that they were going to put it in a museum where you would have to pay for it. And as much as I love museums, street art's something that people can actually access. This is sort of a third place. You can access that without having to pay to go inside. And it would have been a shame for something that was meant to be seen outside go into a museum, which is what tends to happen a lot. But it would be even worse if it was painted over, because I know there was another Banksy that got painted over somehow, and that's just, it would just be a shame. So I'm glad that it has to remain on public display. That's really good. Now, we're going to do something different this time, as in the past I have gone through the citations and looked at those citations separately than me reading through the article, but this article is actually done now. And I would like to go and look at these citations with you before we stop for break. So what we're going to look at are citation numbers 2, 3, 5, and 9. Actually, are we going to look at number 2? Yeah, we're going to look at 2, 3, 5, and 9. All right, so first, let's take a look at these references. This is a very short article. We only have 19 sources, but I think this is plenty because this article, when you actually put this into a PDF, it is 2 pages and a paragraph more than that. It's not a very long article, so 19 sources is definitely enough for an article this size. I'm looking at, the first thing to be mentioned here is source number 3, which I wanted to look at. And this one I can already see that is from BBC News Network from January 2018. It's saying that Bristol wants the artwork to stay and that's allowed to stay. And the BBC, that is a solid place to be able to use as a source, especially when you're reporting on something like this. I mean, this is literally a sanction from the city, a vote that the city has taken, and that's something that the BBC would report on. That is a completely legitimate type of source to look at. The other one I wanted to look at was source number 2, because source number 2, you can see it here in the text. It's talking about how he found out that it was a sexual health area, a sexual health clinic from an email. And that one actually leads to this website, which is a very interesting website. It's called About Banksy Explained. And according to this website, just scrolling through it, it looks like it's a bunch of artists and gallery people and people who are just interested in artwork about Banksy. It looks like all the information is compiled by them. I mean, they have a whole section about like Banksy murals, Banksy original, Banksy shows, Banksy artwork sold over $1 million. And while I wouldn't normally call this a very good academic source, because we are talking about a piece of very recent street art, I think this is a good kind of like following a blogger sort of thing. For everyday mentions of Banksy and like information like this, I would say this is a good source. Of course, if you're going into an in-depth academic article, double check what they say and try to find the other sources behind that. But I don't think there's anything inherently bad about this particular website. The next thing I wanted to look at was number 9. And it is also an article by The Independent. It says Bristol street art class lets you make believe that you are Banksy. And this actually leads to an Independent article, and it looks like they're talking about graffiti. And I mean, it's just about, it seems that it's just about an art class they're doing that is very Banksy inspired. So, I mean, that's fine for what it is, I suppose. I don't really see any very big academic vigor for that, but I mean, maybe you need to go about like classes inspired by this. I mean, who knows? And last but not least, I wanted to look at number 5, and this is Banksy graffiti and blue paint calligraphs, the naked man hanging, and this also leads to a website. And this website, I don't see nearly as much information about it, to be honest. It looks like it's, you can follow them on Bristol Post on Twitter. It appears to be something to do with, like, I don't know, information about Bristol, but I only see this one article. This is not really my favorite source. I wouldn't use this in an academic setting. That being said, with all this, we are talking about a piece of street art that is on the street, and it's by Banksy. And so considering what we are looking at right now, this very short article about something that people have seen on the street, and how most of the sources are referencing like different ordinances that were passed, overall I would rate this on an accuracy level of 7, because I think it'd be very difficult to make an academic article about, well, I mean, they're all legitimate sources, right? But it's they're all very media based. But that's where I stand, and we'll stick around and we will spin the wheel for later. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. As you may know, this is a brand new channel, and your likes and subscribes make a huge difference in helping me grow and get noticed by the famous YouTube algorithm. Now, who knows, maybe with your support, we'll even catch the attention of some sponsors down the road. So, if you like this video so far, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. And if you forgot, I'm your host, Kaylee. I was conducting PhD research at Vrije University Amsterdam before moving to YouTube, but I'm also a professional visual and performing artist. You can actually see some of my artwork here up on the screen, and several of my original works are actually for sale on my Etsy store. I have some on the screen that you can take a look at, but I would rather you to go check it out on Etsy. I've got a variety of original paintings, handmade jewelry, and prints available, and it's a great way to bring a little bit of art into your life. The link to my Etsy store is in the description and below. And thanks again for being here. Like and subscribe to this channel, and let's continue. All right, let's find out what next week's topic is going to be. Let's go ahead and spin this wheel. And we have biography. So we will be reviewing somebody's life or something about a person next week in history. Stick around. Thanks so much for watching today. Again, this is a brand new channel, and your likes and subscribes really help me get noticed. I hope to build this channel to a point where it can be monetized and get sponsorships, because doing this sort of thing is really fun, and I'd like to continue. I'd also love for you to check out my Etsy store if you're interested in supporting my work. I have a variety of original paintings, homemade jewelry, and prints for sale. It's a great way to bring a little creativity into your home. So if you had fun today, or you saw something in the wiki article that maybe someone needs to edit, please comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, stay inspired, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care! You can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/wikireviewweekly.